to move on to our last water-soluble vitamin. So far, as you know, we have covered 6 water-soluble vitamins, and they are the 6 B vitamins belonging to a group called the vitamin B complex. We saw in the last 2 lessons that they have similar food sources, similar biological functions, and then they have unique functions, unique deficiencies, and there are certain foods that some of them are not found in and others are. Now, vitamin C. Vitamin C has come up once on a long question, and that happens to have been only last year, and it came up in 2023. So we were years waiting to see vitamin C. Now, it came up on question 1B, so students had to answer it. And as you know from our study of iron, so we're going to actually write that here at the side, and that is revise iron. Now, hopefully some of you, if not all of you, are remembering that we have 2 types of iron. Remember, we've heme iron and we've non-heme iron. Now, heme iron is ferrous iron and non-heme iron is ferric iron. We said the only way that the human body can absorb iron in the small intestine is when it's in the ferrous state. And we get heme iron from animal foods like black pudding, lamb and beef, and small amount say in fish. However, the non-heme iron is found in eggs, and plant sources would include nuts, green leafy vegetables, dried fruits, etc. But that ferric iron present in the non-heme sources can't be absorbed straight away in our small intestine. So we said, ideally speaking, we need to have vitamin C present at a meal where there is ferric iron or non-heme iron present. And the vitamin C acts as a reducing agent. So that'll certainly be one biological function that we're going to learn. And it just so happened that in 2023, they asked iron with vitamin C. And we can all see why that would have been the case. So it's 2 years since they've asked vitamin C on a long question. Now, some of you might be saying to yourself, there's not a hope. After 2 years ago, it won't come up again. Problem is, iron was asked on question 1B in 2021. And 2 years later, iron appears, but along with vitamin C. So certainly, unless you've got some magic crystal ball, which I wish I had, you cannot say, I'm going to leave out X, Y, or Z. Again, as I keep repeating myself, particularly if you're pitching to the higher end of the grade scale. Now, vitamin C is called ascorbic acid. You might notice that when we go on to do minerals, you will have, the absorption of calcium will need an acidic environment, and vitamin C will help with that. So we have 6 sources need to be learned. We have 4 functions, 4 deficiency, and 4 properties. You can call them RDAs or RDIs, either recommended daily allowance or recommended daily intake. So if we take the first one, and that is, we're going to highlight the fact that vitamin C is the most unstable of all the vitamins. It's the most sensitive. And because of that, we need to ideally be eating sources of vitamin C fresh. And what you're going to notice here with the biological functions, or not the biological functions, excuse me, what you notice about the sources of vitamin C. Sources of vitamin C, they're all plant-based. We do not get vitamin C from animal sources. And it's one thing, as there are many, that crack me up when I'm, correcting a test source of vitamin C and people are throwing in meat and like chicken and lamb and beef, etc. So sources will always be plant, particularly fruits and vegetables. So we have green leafy vegetables like kale, black currants, kiwis, citrus fruits. So we have fruit. Citrus fruit would include orange. Now, I don't know about you, but when someone would say to me vitamin C, for some bizarre reason, I think it's because we're brainwashed. I would associate vitamin C and straight away I think of oranges. However, did you know that blackcurrants and strawberries have a significantly more or significantly higher content of vitamin C than oranges? So why is it then that we always think of oranges? Well, first of all, strawberries, they're very seasonal. In other words, we're not going to have strawberries in the middle of winter time unless they've been force grown. And ideally speaking, we should really only be eating fruit and vegetables when in season. So they're seasonal. The same, it's not the same for oranges. They're available, as you know, all year round. And the fact is that they will last for a period of time. They don't need to be kept refrigerated. Blackcurrants are a magnificent source of vitamin C, probably the best source that I've listed there. But if you think about blackcurrant, you think of blackcurrant drinks like Ribena, for example. And actually, it's worth looking up on the internet there about these two New Zealand girls a number of years back. And they actually took a pharmaceutical company, you'll have to look that up yourself, and they ended up going to court because they were trying to prove that Ribena had more vitamin C than the less expensive brands. And guess what? When they tested the vitamin C content of the Ribena, there was none present. And that goes back to vitamin C is the most unstable of all vitamins. It is so easily destroyed. So any kind of heat at all is going to destroy the vitamin C. Blackcurrants don't stay fresh for too long. They wouldn't stay fresh from the time they're picked to the time they get to the shop. So most blackcurrants end up, unless you're lucky enough to have blackcurrant bushes in your garden, most of us know that blackcurrants are usually only in blackcurrant drinks, blackcurrant jam, but you're not likely to ever see fresh blackcurrants unless it's a specialised greengrocers. You're not going to get blackcurrants in the supermarket. So we have green leafy vegetables, we have our blackcurrants, we have our citrus fruits, strawberries, pineapples, fresh peas. And actually another one we can add on there are new potatoes. Either way, there's not an animal in sight. It's all fruit and vegetables, a source of vitamin C. Functions then, we definitely have to take the following two, and that is prevents scurvy. Now, scurvy I've mentioned in passing. Scurvy is a condition whereby the gums become very swollen and boggy, the gums start to bleed, the teeth are quite loose. However, in adults who have scurvy, you can get this condition called petechiae. So I'm just going to put here swollen gums, loose teeth, pains in the limbs actually as well, something you mightn't be aware of. And then you have this condition, you can look it up, it's called petechiae. And petechiae is where you have these little red blood spots under the surface of the skin. But you will only find petechiae in adults who have scurvy. Children will have the swollen bleeding gums, the loose teeth and the pains in the limbs, and then on top of that adults will have the petechiae. Now scurvy thankfully is unheard of really in the Western world, but you may have watched a movie, there's a book as well called Super Size Me, and this lunatic went and ate McDonald's for 40 days, and at the end of the 40 days was starting to demonstrate the early stages of the scurvy with the swollen gums, etc., because obviously there was severe lack of vitamin C taken. The other one we'd have to take would be needed for the absorption of iron, and I'm just going to write the word there, reducing agent. Now that's going to be something that we'll cover when we do the chapter on minerals. So just for now, right reducing agent. The third one I definitely would go for would be strong bones and teeth, because when we study minerals, we're going to look at factors that assist calcium absorption. And vitamin C is one of them because it provides an acidic environment, ascorbic acid, etc. And then it's up to you to pick whichever one you want. But I certainly would take prevent scurvy, absorption of iron, strong bones and teeth, and one other. I'm just going to say manufacture of connective tissue. Deficiency, we're definitely going to say iron deficiency. Again, can you wait until we get to the chapter on minerals, and there'll be an explanation of what iron deficiency anemia happens to be. So I need to actually get rid of that there, and we need to highlight or circle the fact that it's iron deficiency anemia. Susceptibility to infection, which you may be aware of. Delayed healing of wounds. We're going to learn about the link between vitamin C and zinc for healing. And then of course scurvy. Now I'd mark scurvy and I'd mark the iron deficiency anemia. So in the instance of, say for example, it was a short question and you only had to give two symptoms of deficiency, I definitely would give those two main ones, scurvy and iron deficiency anemia. Properties then, we need to know 4. So water soluble would be 1. Now unstable to heat, I need to write there beside that very unstable to heat, the most sensitive of all the vitamins. And then we'll take 2 others then, destroyed by alkalis. We mentioned there about vitamin B1 being destroyed by alkalis like bread soda, and I mentioned in that lesson about adding in restaurants bread soda to peas to keep them bright green, but it does destroy vitamin C and B1. Now something that's unusual, freezing has little effect. Now that's significant because when we go on to cover domestic preservation, we will mention that particular. So even though it's the most sensitive of all the vitamins, freezing has absolutely no effect on it whatsoever. So they would be the 4 that I would pick. Now the RDAs or RDIs, I would take 3 of them. So you could go maybe for the child 45. So just take that away there. So we'll go with the child 45 mgs. And this is easy, 45, 50 to 60 and 80. So if you learn it like that, 50 to 60 and then 80. So pick 3 of them. And you certainly need to know them because they are on our syllabus. Now before I leave, I just want to mention one thing to you. Just to tell you how sensitive vitamin C happens to be. I mentioned that a fresh orange, 60 milligrams of vitamin C, 1 orange, and I'm covered for my vitamin C if I eat every last scrap of the orange. Say you're in a hurry and you haven't time to squeeze fresh orange juice, or you're on the run and you go into a shop and you buy a bottle of freshly squeezed orange juice, and it would have probably taken 4 oranges to make that freshly squeezed orange juice. So we're looking at least over 200 milligrams of vitamin C. And then you go and read the back of the label and it might be 20 milligrams of vitamin C. So where did it go? And when I ask that question in class, students say, oh, they diluted it. They've done nothing to the juice in terms of diluting it, etc. It's not made from concentrate, it's pure orange juice. But if you or I made fresh orange juice at home in the morning, how long would it last? A day. And then it would start to separate, taste really funny, and so on. If you buy freshly squeezed orange juice in a supermarket and it's sealed, note there's a label at the top. Now I'm not talking about the orange juice that you can go and fill up yourself, say like in a Super Value or something like that. I'm talking about freshly squeezed orange juice that has been properly sealed in the manufacturing factory. On the top there'll be a label So whatever today's date, just say it was the 1st of the month, it might say use by the 8th. So what have they done to that orange juice? They have pasteurised it. By pasteurising the orange juice, they've extended the shelf life. But pasteurisation involves heat, and any kind of heat will destroy vitamin C. You'd be much better off eating your 2 little mandarins, heading off to school on the bus or the Lewis or in the car, rather than buying that freshly squeezed orange juice. Like I say, the freshly squeezed orange juice where you see the orange has been squeezed in front of you, fantastic. But if it's just that orange juice with the seal on the top, the vitamin C content will not be the same as the fresh oranges at home, unless of course they fortified it. And why would you want fortified orange juice when you can have your 2 mandarins? So that completes our vitamin C table.